So, hello everyone. Welcome to CA Final Paper 6A Risk Management. So, guys, this is an elective paper which comes for 100 marks. During this paper, you need to understand few ground rules before you start this paper, right? The first ground rule: this paper is of 4 marks. This paper is of a 4 hours as compared to the other paper. Other papers are of 3 hours, right? So this is a elective paper, open book paper, where you need to understand, where you need to know each and every concept before you enter into this paper, right? So during these classes, we are gonna be covering each and everything. We are gonna be covering each and every topic in details. We are gonna be covering ICI material in detail, right? So do not worry about it, how the things are gonna be going. We are gonna be covering each and everything. So leave all of the things to me. I'm gonna be ensuring that you are studying well. I'm gonna be ensuring that you are giving a test. If you're not giving a test, I'm gonna be following it up with you guys, right? So before we start, just a small intro about myself. So I am CA Shivam Palan. I qualified in May 19. My elective was risk management and I scored 81 marks in risk management. So I generally target my students should score 80 plus marks in a risk management, right? Now, what we are going to be doing in this classes, how the classes are going to be covered, and what is going to be the structure of this class, each and everything I'm going to be telling you, right? But before we start, let me just tell you what is an open book, right? Because it's very, very important for you guys to know what is an open book. So, open book means you can carry any sort of books, any books you can carry in your exams. Either it can be your class notes, either it can be your ICI material, even you can carry a dictionary in your exam hall, right? But it is very, very important, guys. Whatever you carry, it should add a value to your answers, right? Or whatever you carry, it should add a value to whatever you are writing it. Now, again, very it's important for you guys to understand each and every concept of the question, each and every topic of this subject. Because if you see the past exam papers of November 20, January 21, and July 21, Institute had started asking more of the questions on the understanding based. So better you understand, better you score. Simple ground rule. The better you understand, the better you score. Right? So even if you feel, sir, I'm unable to understand it, please do not hesitate to connect to me. I'm gonna be helping out with each and everything. Right? So now those who have connected with us, I think many of have been also connected with us on a Zoom live session as well, right? And the students, those who have been viewing us, now, this classes are applicable from November 21 onward attempts, right? November 21, May 22, November 22. The classes are going to be approximately 60 to 70 odd hours. Plus, also what I'll be doing is I'll be adding a content whenever I feel. Say, for example, if I feel some mock test paper has been released or some important case studies have been released, or even if I feel few important topics are going to be released, I'm going to be covering it, right? So, you'll be getting a notifications on our app or messages from our team or calls from our team. So, this is going to be additional classes which has been updated. So, do not worry about it. Second important thing before you start this, or if you're studying with me, guys, I'm gonna be troubling you a lot with the test. Trust me, guys. I'm gonna be giving you approximately 20 MCQ tests and 4 to 5 full subject tests, right? Out of which I'm expecting you to solve 2 full subject tests. So till the time this classes is completed, I'm gonna be ensuring that you are gonna be 100% confident with this paper, and you'll be able to solve any sort of paper which comes to your exam, right? So I just want a one promise from you guys that you will be listening to me or you'll be giving your 100% to this subject, and I am trying to ensure that you'll score 80 plus marks in this subject. Provided you put in equal effort, the effort I put in, right? So I'm giving you a lot of tests. It is expected that you solve all those MCQ tests. It is expected that you solve whatever I'm asking you to solve it, right? I'll be giving a lot of homework. I'll try to give a lot of case studies on a daily basis so that you can think around it, right? So this paper is a case study based paper. Other papers are not case study based paper, right? In this paper, you need to think of it. Say, for example, this thing happened. What is the course of action you are gonna be taking it? So this paper wants you to think more, right? Better you think, the better you score, right? The better you practice, the better you score. These are the ground rules which you are supposed to follow whenever you are solving this paper out. Next thing, very, very important. Please do not think or please do not say around this ki I'm feeling this paper difficult because my friend has said that, see, everything is dependent on whatever you put in your mind. This is a simple thing. Now it's important for you guys to focus more on a concept, and trust me, you can nail out any of the papers, right? So even if you see the past attempt papers of November 20, January 21, or even if you see the results, there are the students, those who have scored a ranks as well. There were the students who scored 80 plus marks. I'll just show you all the results as well. But it's important to keep yourself a confident with this subject. Please do not listen to the other people, what your friend has selected the elective, or you have selected this elective, right? So after this class ends, you'll definitely feel like, this is my subject and this is the subject which I'm gonna be ruling, right? So it's more related to business. Trust me, you'll definitely gonna be enjoying it. I'll be giving a lot of real life examples to you so that you feel the subject like, yeah, I know this subject very well. Next thing, if any one of you have not received the books of our classes, I think live students might not have received it, but the students, those who are going on a virtual mode, right, you must have received the books as well. So if you've not received the book, you can please connect with my team and try to ensure that the books are delivered to you on the time. I'll just tell you which all books are going to be delivering it, and what all things you'll be needing in our classes, so that you have that books with you. Now, let's start our lecture with a small understanding of this subject and how this subject is going to be working out, right? So this is our class 1. Do not worry, I'm not going to be troubling you with lot of technical terms today. I'm going to be ensuring that you're enjoying the class today, right? So first, it's very, very important. Just let me showcase you some past results of the students we have. So we have around 6 All India rankers in November 20. And you can see the N number of people, those who scored 60 plus, or one of my student, Harshita, scored 82 marks in risk management. If you see the list of students who scored 60 plus, so a lot of students are there. Similarly, in a January 21, there we have a 6 rankers. There's also an N number of students who scored 60 plus marks, right? So it doesn't matter which elective you select. It's important if you put an equal effort to this elective, you're gonna be scoring it, right? Next thing about this classes, how the classes are gonna be going, right? So this paper comes for 100 plus 25 marks, which is equals to 125 marks. Sir, what is 100 plus 25 marks? 100 is for 4 case studies and 1 case study is optional. So there are 5 case studies, out of which you're gonna be solving 4 case studies. You have 4 questions, right? So there are gonna be 5 case studies, out of which you're gonna be solving 4 questions or 4 case studies, right? Sir, is question number 1 compulsory? No, question number 1 is not compulsory. In other papers, it's compulsory, but in elective paper, it's not compulsory. So please do not get confused. Sir, question number 1, I am supposed to solve it. No, you can skip the question number 1, right? Any of the 4 questions, you need to solve it out of the 5 questions, right? Next thing. Each case study comprises of 25 marks. So if I multiply 25 into 5, which comes to 125 marks, right? So out of a paper of 125, you need to solve it for 100 marks. Next, question number 1 is not compulsory. Please do not get confused, not compulsory. That's why I'm writing it here. Next, we're gonna be discussing a paper pattern. Now, for a case study of 25 marks each, it is divided into 2 parts. The first part talks about the MCQs, multiple choice questions. Second part talks about the descriptive part. I'm gonna be using some shortcuts or few things around so that it saves the time, right? So MCQs are gonna be for 10 marks and case study is gonna be for 15 marks, which makes up a total for 25 marks, right? Now, each case study has a 2 marks MCQ. And if I take a total number of MCQs, so each case study has a 5 MCQs, out of which you are supposed to solve how many case studies? 4 case studies. So total number of MCQs you are expected to solve is 4 5s are 20 MCQs you are supposed to solve it, which is gonna be giving you how many marks? 40 marks. So 40 marks MCQs and 60 marks descriptive, right? Next, sir, what is the pattern for a 15 marks? Is the question is gonna be coming for 1 mark, 2 mark, 3 mark, 5 marks? See, there is no fixed pattern. Even an institute can ask for 5, 5, 5, which comes to total of 15, or they can ask for 6, 4, 5, right? Or even they can ask for 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2 marks, right? So there is no fixed pattern for this, guys. Right? Please do not set a ground rule in your mind stating that only 2 marks question is going to be asking. See, there is no fixed pattern. Right? I'm going to be showing you the paper as well. Do not worry about it. So, what's important for you guys is, first, understand is 40 marks is for based on MCQs, and the 60 marks is going to be for the descriptive portion. Now, descriptive can be of from the RM material and can be from the 2 chapters of SFM and 1 chapter of IPCC. I'm going to be telling you which chapter are there and how we are going to be covering it. So do not worry, we're going to be covering each and everything in our classes. Right? So those who wants to write it, just write it down on your copies, or so that it's easier for you to know it, right? I'll give you just 30 seconds so that you can copy it out. Now, next. Sir, for solving all these 4 case studies, I'm gonna be allotted 4 hours. How much time I'm gonna be allotted? 4 hours, right? So during this 4 hours, I'm gonna be solving this 4 case study. Sir, does that mean each case study I'm gonna be giving 1 hour? Let's decide after the classes, or let's decide the way you practice it. I'm not gonna be telling you today, but this thing you'll understand when we solve a lot of case studies around. So we're gonna be solving around 60 to 70 case studies during these classes. Plus also, do not worry, I'm gonna be giving you a lot of homeworks around so that I ensure that your study is completed with me. So those who have been joining me on a live classes, I want you to complete the subject with this live class, right? Because that is gonna be giving you 2 advantages. Number 1, once the subject is done, you'll be very, very confident. Number 2, once the subject is done, once the live class is done, we are going to be having a full subject test, guys. Do not worry. But yes, we are going to be having a full subject test, which is going to be trying to ensure that you nail this paper out, right? Next. Now, it's again very, very important for you guys to understand the pattern of a case studies, to understand how the subject is going to be demanding. But we are going to be covering the questions from our next class, not today. Today I'll just give you a brief about what is the subject about, how the subject is going to be read, what is the risk, right? So this things we are going to be covering. Next thing, what all things are going to be provided in this classes. So during this classes, you are going to be getting a 4 books, right? You are going to be getting a 4 books. Number 1, you're going to be getting the class notes, which I'm going to be showing on the screen. So this is a class note. This class notes is going to be delivered to your home. Second thing, you're going to be getting a complete guidance module. Complete guidance module is this blue color book, right? This blue color book. So those who have not received it, do not worry, you're going to be getting it, right? If you have any issues regarding the delivery or any technical issues, you can connect with my team on, just note down the number 9022720882, right? This is my team's number. You can connect with them anytime, right? Please do not hesitate to message them. They are there to help you out. You can WhatsApp them as well, right? If this number doesn't work, you can call on 8767613647, right? So whenever we deliver a book, we try to ensure that we send you a tracking ID. So if you have not received any of the tracking ID, or if you're not knowing the status of this book, do not hesitate to call them, right? They are going to be helping you out. Next, the first book you're going to be getting is the class notes. Second book you're going to be getting is a complete guidance book. Third book which you're going to be getting is the Atom book, right? This red color book, Atom book. The fourth book which you're getting is a Atmanirbhar book. Now I'm going to be explaining what all this book's about and how you're supposed to read it. Now the first book, class notes. So class notes is going to be acting as a base for us. Using this, we are going to be covering our ICA material and the entire subject, right? Using this, we are going to be covering the ICA material and the entire subject. Second thing, what you're going to be getting is a complete guidance book, the blue color book. right? Using this book, you will be get 100% confidence on your ICI material. Whatever is given on the ICI material, we'll try to ensure that 100% things is covered, and you will get a confidence based on this book, on a ICI material. The third book, which is gonna be a Atom book, it consists of 27 case studies, the advanced level case studies, right? Active threat and opportunity management. Atom book means that. Do not worry what is that threat, what is opportunity, we are gonna be covering it again. But yes, it contained 27 case studies, and each case study was of advanced level, which is gonna be giving you a confidence whenever you are solving the paper. The fourth thing you are gonna be getting is the Atmanirbhar book. What does that mean, Atmanirbhar? Please do not think I am motivated with Modi ji, right? Atmanirbhar means you will be able to solve the questions on your own. So what I've done is, I have compiled this book in such a manner, if you are unable to find the answer of any of the questions or any of the case studies, you'll be given some hints, or you'll be given some how from where the answer is taken, why an institute has selected only answer B instead of C, right? So in this book, you will be getting a query sheet, right? So it is a compilation of what? All the past attempt paper, right from May 18 till today, right? So it is a compilation of each and everything, which is comprising of a query sheet. Do not worry, we are going to be solving a lot of questions with the Atmanirbhar book, right? Lot of institute questions we are going to be solving it. Yes, of course, I'm going to be giving a few questions homework, but yes, we are going to be solving approximately 50 to 60 questions. Next thing, before we start, sir, usually I divide the classes into the 6 parts. I divide and teach the classes into the 6 parts. First part comprises of a basic understanding of our risk management. I hope I think also have shared the timetable with you guys. Just a second. Let me see where is the timetable. Yes. So what I've done is I've shared the timetable with you. So during the first 4 class from 2nd to 5th, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be covering the basic understanding of the classes, right? After that is done, we'll move to the topic wise. We'll move to the chapter wise understanding of each subject, which is going to be covering approximately, I think, 15 to 16 classes. Very, very important. After each chapter is done, I am going to be giving you one MCQ test. How much score is for the MCQs? 40 marks, guys. We'll try to ensure that we score 40 on 40 for this MCQ. So after every chapter is done, you will be able to see a MCQ test on your portal or on your app, right? Those who are watching on a Google Drive, do not worry. Just go to the app, you'll be able to see the test there, right? So those who are watching on a Google Drive or other modes, you will be able to see the MCQ test in my portal or on your app. Third, once that is done, we are going to be practicing hell lot of questions from ICI material, complete guidance book and Atom book. Fourth thing, I am going to be ensuring you give a MCQ test on your time, and I am going to be reviewing it. How much score you are scoring, I am going to be seeing who is the topper, and special gifts for the toppers. Do not worry about it. So yes, please try to ensure that you top in the classes so that you get a special gift from my side every time. Next, you need to understand the real life frauds. Why I'm asking you to understand the real life fraud is, see, unless and until you understand the risk, or unless and until you understand what type of frauds are done, you'll not be able to manage, right? So it's being a risk manager. During this class, I'm going to be assuming you are a risk manager. Do not worry who is a risk manager. I'm going to be telling you who is a risk manager, what are roles, what are responsibilities. So I'm assuming that for approximately 20 to 25 days, be a risk manager with me, right? So think yourself as a risk manager so that it's easier for you to grasp the concept as well. Next thing, after this classes is done, you'll be allocated, till now we have 5 full subject tests. You'll be given a 5 full subject test, out of which I'm gonna be checking 2 tests, right? It's not possible for me to check 5 on 5 tests, right guys? So you'll be expected to solve 2 tests. Which test we are gonna be solving, I'm gonna be telling you out. But yes, if you are joining my classes, I want you to solve full subject test, because see, this paper is completely different from the other papers. Other papers are of 3 hours. Other paper is not a case study base. Other papers are not open book. This paper is an open book, case study base, and of a 4 hours. So for this paper, you need to practice well. And unless and until you don't practice it, you're not going to be scoring it. Trust me, guys. Ask any of your friends. Giving a test is very, very important. And since you are my students of a full batch, I want you to solve this, right? It's very good to see that I think Garishma is saying she's going to be solving all the 5 papers. Yes, out of the 5 papers, 3 papers you need to check on your own. I'm going to be telling you how you're supposed to check it. But other papers, I'm going to be checking it out, right? Next, moving ahead to our very, very important. My dream is to score that each and every student, those who join my classes, score 80 plus, right? So I want you to score 80 plus and take the 100% refund of whatever amount you have paid. right? So please guys, if you score 80 plus, do let me know so that I can refund the 100% amount whatever you have paid it. Okay. Next, now let's discuss. So whatever I've just told you, I just written it out. But again, very very important. The paper is of a 255 minutes. So remember, I'm very good planner. Yeah, I'm very good at planning the things. So whatever I plan it, I plan in terms of a minutes and hours, so that it's easier for you, right? In exam, each and every minute counts, guys. In exam, each and every minute counts. So if I talk about how long is the paper is gonna be 225 minutes, which is 4 hours 15 minutes, right? 4 into 60 plus 15 is 225. So we are gonna be planning how each and every minute is gonna be utilized in a paper so that you score what? You score 80 plus, right? So do not worry, we are gonna be covering each and everything. Second important thing, I generally believe in a division of lectures so that it's easier for you to understand the concept. It's easier for you to grasp it. So what I do is, I generally our lectures is gonna be for 2 hours around 15 minutes, right? 2 or 15 minutes. What I'm gonna be doing is, we'll divide the lectures into 3 parts. The part A is of a 1 hour, part B is of a 1 hour, and part C is gonna be a summary lecture for whatever I taught in the entire lecture, right? The advantages of doing that is, first, during the time of exam, you can watch the part C and go to your exam hall. That is going to be helping you revising the concept very, very fast, right? So for each and every classes is done, we are going to be revising it. We are going to be making a summary video so that you'll able to recall it, or you'll be able to record it. So many of you have been watching for a further attempts, right? Many of you have been watching for a May 22 attempts. So till that time, I am sure you will be forgetting the classes. So I do not want you to do that. So hence, I want you to watch the summary video whenever you are starting your revision or whenever you are starting your study, right? Next important thing, sir, what if in case my validity get lapse, or if I want to extend it, please do not worry. We are happy to extend your validity as well, right? It's not fixed rule, sir. It's only 180 days or this, that. Yes, do not worry. In case some issues are there, we're gonna be happy to help you out. But only one ground rule, only one thing we want from you is just put an effort. Rest, leave it to me, right? Rest everything, leave it to me. I'm gonna be ensuring that you're gonna be scoring the best marks. So I generally tell this story to my students. Say for example, if you go to a doctor, suppose you go to a doctor, what does doctor do? Doctor gives checkup, doctor do a checkup, right? And he or she gives you a medicine, right? Have you ever questioned to the doctor, why you have given this medicine only? I didn't like this medicine, right? Have you ever done it? The answer is no, right? In a similar manner, for our classes, please do not question, sir, why you have given this MCQ test to me after completion of this, sir? I didn't like the MCQ test. Please do not worry, guys. I'm going to be ensuring that you score 80 plus marks, and hence this MCQ test and the full subject test are going to be given, are given to you, right? Please also solve all of the tests, right? It would be difficult for me to track each and every of the students ki how much you are scoring or how much you are performing, but I'm going to be definitely seeing it who is very active and who is giving all the tests, right? And also there are special gifts. So yes, if you give all the tests, it's again it's a benefit for you guys. Now, before we start to the lecture, if anyone has a doubt, you can use a chat box so that we can cover the doubts around, and we'll move to the starting of our subject, right? If anyone has any doubts, you can use the chat box to put the doubts so that we can cover any of your doubts, or we'll move ahead. Okay. Great. So let's start with our topic, CA Final Paper 6A Risk Management. Each class is gonna be giving you something new, some new learnings around. Every class you're gonna be learning some new things, right? So before I start in, I also wanted to tell you how this books looks around and what are the books around, right? Is the video mandatory? No issues, right? If you're unable to turn on the videos on live class, it's fine. But just try to ensure that you're participating on the content, right? So first atom book consists of approximately, I told you, 27 case studies, right? 22 are there and 5 case studies from paper. So 22 plus 5, 27. Each case study is gonna be mentioned the chapter names. So I'm gonna be telling you when and where you're gonna be solving this. Again, important thing, only the thing which I'm not gonna be providing is the ICI material, right? Only one thing I'm not gonna be giving is the ICI material. So many of you have been received this material through, I think, courier or the ICI portal, right? I think many of you have ordered it. Or in case if you feel like if you want to use my material, I'll recommend you to take a color printout of the same. The reason is quite simple. If you take a color printout of the same, you're gonna be saving a hell lot of time in markings the stuffs and underlining the stuff, right? So that is gonna be saving you a lot of times. Where you're gonna be finding this ICA material? If you go to the CMO app or if you go to the portal, there you'll be finding the ICA material as well, right? On also, if you have any doubts, I'm gonna be telling you where you are gonna be connecting with me, how you're gonna be connecting with me, guys. At the end, I'm also gonna be sharing my numbers as well, so that it's easier for you as well. So before we start, I just wanted to tell you this batch is named with a risk hai to ishq hai, right? I don't know how many of you must have watched this 1992 scam, right? So this batch is not more about a 1992 scam, right? I'm gonna be telling you why this batch is named as a risk hai to ishq hai, right? And with this, we are starting our lectures. So please try to be attentive. Number one. Number two, whatever example I give, do not feel like yes, I'm enjoying it. But yes, you are enjoying it, but it's gonna be related to the subject, right? No example is given which is not related to the subject. Each and everything which I'm gonna be teaching you is related to the subject and the topic, right? So just try to be attentive, try to be participative, so that you'll know and what all things I'm gonna be teaching, right? So let's start our batch. Risk hai to ishq hai. The risk management is very, very important for each. Sir, what is risk management? Do not worry, we're gonna be covering it out. But let's understand how the risk management is helping each and every company out. Sir, do you remember 2015 where Maggie was banned? Do you remember it or not? The students who connected on live can use a chat box to mention yes, no, so that I can awake or not. So do you remember in 2015 the Maggie product was banned because of the content like lead was found in the Maggie, right? In 2015, lead was found in the product called as a Maggie. Now, once the lead was found during, or I think for a few months, the Maggie was banned. Maggie was not allowed to sold in the market, right? But as this product was banned, do you think the image of the company must have hampered, right? See, for example, if something get banned, your mindset change. This product is not good. But as and when the ban was removed, the Maggie was able to achieve its sales. The Maggie was achieve its target back within a 2 to 3 months of time. Within a 2 to 3 months of time. And why this was possible? This was possible because of the business continuity. This was possible because the risk management team of the company was strong. I just wanted to show you the real life data ki how did it work, and we are going to be discussing it ki how this helped the company. Just see, in 2014 the total sales of a Nestle company was 98062, but in compare of 2015 the sales has gone down. If you can also see the graph here, right? You can also see the graph here which is showing that the sales of a company has been decreased. And if you see the Nestle company, 50 to 60% of the revenue comes from a Maggie. Even if you see the reason which a company has mentioned, largely there's a decrease by 17.2% by largely impact of a Maggie. The sales of the company has been reduced because of the what impact in the Maggie noodles, guys. Now, if I show you the report of 2016, let's see the report of 2016. 2016, the sales is 812,232, and in 2016 it comes to 91,592, right? So if I see the graph, the sales has again boosted up. Now what does the company say? The net sales increase by 12.8% is base impact on the Maggie noodles issue, right? Now what is this? How the company has been able to achieve its growth back. See, this is not an easy task to bring anything which has been damaged because of a reputation, right? It is very difficult to bring the things back to the normal after being disrupted or after the things are bad in the market, right? Now, what did the company do? How the company was able to achieve the back to normal? If you see this, excess lead found in a Maggie. Now, what did Maggie started to do? Maggie started to create the brand in such a manner that it feels like it's your product. What did Maggie started to sing? Your Maggie is safe, sir. Your Maggie is safe, not my Maggie. Your Maggie. What Maggie is trying to do, Maggie is trying to create a brand loyalty. Maggie is trying to ensure that whatever the loss of sale it has done, it is trying to achieve that. And for that, it's trying to do what? It's trying to market in a such a manner which is creating a loyalty within you. Right? So it started to say your Maggie is safe. They have also started to create a campaign on a YouTube, create a campaign on the various social media platforms. If I have taken the screenshot from their portal as well 5 years back, right? What I've done is I've gone to the Maggie page 5 years back and I'm just trying to see what they've done. See, they started to say that, see, Maggie is back. Maggie is back. We miss you too, Maggie. Right? And different type of people they have started to bring it out. Somewhere you will be able to see some youngsters. Somewhere you will be able to see mummies there. Somewhere you will be able to see some bachelors are there. Somewhere you will be able to see some sisters are there. And everyone is trying to talk about nothing like Maggie. We miss you, Maggie. Welcome back, Maggie. Right? So what the company is trying to do? The company is trying to ensure that whatever product they are gonna be selling it's gonna be selling on a continuous basis. They're trying to ensure that the business is continued, business is not stopped. And this concept we are gonna be learning in our chapter number 9, which is called as a business continuity. Business continuity plan means that the business is running continuously, whatever the things gonna be coming in. Simple example I'm gonna be giving you is COVID. So during this COVID, if the company would have planned its continuity plan, during this COVID, if the company would have planned its continuity plan, the company would not have seen the dip time, right? Or the company would not have seen a loss in the sales. So it's very, very important for you, or it's very, very important for each and every organization to prepare a proper continuity plan. So what this continuity plan is going to be helping you out? So during some uncertain or unforeseeable events, if any events happens, the business continuity plan is going to be ensuring that your business is continuing. Right? And who prepares the continuity plan? You being a risk manager is going to be preparing it. So you need to understand the business first. On the basis of that, you need. What is the recent news about the continuity plan? I think many of you have been aware of a MasterCard, right? RBI have put an issue on the MasterCard stating that we are questioning the continuity plan. What is the continuity plan for this? Right? So it's again very, very important for being a risk manager. You being a risk manager need to understand. Right? Next thing, just a second. So it helps to achieve a business objective. What I'm going to be telling you, these are the importance of a risk management, right? These are the major importance of a risk management. So those who have not received the notes, do not worry, right? You can write it on a paper or something sort of, or when the notes are received, you'll be able to see this around, right? So nothing to worry about it. Or if you've not received the notes, I think I have already uploaded this notes in the portal as well. You can download initial 35 pages so that till 2-3 classes you're going to be receiving it out, right? So next, it helps to understand where to focus on. This is my favorite example, which I'm going to be giving in the entire class. It helps the business to understand where to focus on. How many of you have went to PVR? Just you can use the chat box, those who are connected on live. How many of you have gone to PVR, or how many have you gone to the theaters to watch a movie? Please do not mention with whom you have gone, right? Okay, right. Everyone has gone to watch a movie, right? Now, just think, when did you last went to watch a movie before this lockdown? I think it was almost 1.5 years or 2 years, right? Almost 1.5 or 2 years, right? Now, if I see the graph of a PVR, if I see the share price of a PVR, everyone is excited to earn the money and everyone is excited to trade, right? Just let's have a look around it. So when did the COVID started? COVID started at the end of around January, and it started, and every awareness created from the February end, right? So as and when I see the graph of a PVR, the share price of the PVR was 2,000 bucks. As and when the people came to know, the COVID is coming, what happened? What happened? People started selling off the shares of a PVR because they know the PVR is not going to be giving them money. The people are not going to be going to watch the movies, and hence the things which are not in demand, the people are not going to be doing that. And hence the people started selling off the shares of a PVR, right? Now, being a PVR, if you are owner of a PVR, what are the risks or what all things you feel like? No one is going to be coming to watch a movie. No one is going to be coming to watch a movie, guys. Now, it's again very important for a company to see. It's very, very important for a company to forecast it. Say, what are going to be doing it? right? During this time, what is going to be happening is everyone is going to be started watching the movies on Netflix and Prime. I think everyone must have taken the subscription during this times, right? So even if not taken, you must tried it a 30 days free trial, right? So I think it costs 1 rupee to 30 days trial. So everyone must have done it. Now, people have started shifting their preferences. Is it a risk for the PVR or not? Yes. PVR has started caring what I'm gonna be doing during this time. Yeah, everyone is gonna be switching to the new Netflix or Prime. So, what does PVR mention in its risk report? Let's see how PVR is crying. Let's see in the risk report. See, business model change risk. Business model change risk. Do not worry what type of risk is there, what all things are there. We are going to be covering each and everything. But just let's see what PVR, how PVR is crying. The company understand the dynamics of evolving this sector, right? They've mentioned it. The company conducts a regular market survey. So this is there. Rapidly evolving technologies are changing and consumption pattern giving rise entirely new business model and therefore new kind of competitors right? Indirectly, he's abusing whom? Netflix and Prime, right? You can see this, right? I'm not saying it. It's said by the PVR, right? This is not the annual. This is the annual report of PVR, right? You can see that. Even you can download it. I have also shared this in our folders as well. If you want to read it, do read it out. But yes, see, indirectly, the company is very, very scared of the competition. Now, listen it carefully. You being a risk manager, you need to see the type of risk is there. You need to see the type of risk which is there. So risk was regarding a business model change. The entire model of the company has changed. And for that, what you need to do is you need to first identify the risk. Then you need to see how I'm going to be meeting those risks. Simple example, how PVR can mitigate that risk. What does the term mean by the mitigation? Mitigation means, sir, I want to reduce, or in short, I would say I don't want the risk. So what should I do? Right, we're gonna be dealing with mitigation in detail, but just a small idea about a mitigation, right? So PVR is facing this type of risk. What PVR can do? PVR can plan, or PVR can say, let's invest in Amazon Prime, or let's build out some product which is where people are gonna be watching our movies there, right? So generally we call this as pivoting your business or acquire the business or the domain in which the competitor is working, right? Someone mentioned create your own app, right? You can do it, correct? So in this way, you being a risk manager, it's your responsibility to tell to the company, sir, this risk the company is facing, and please try to mitigate it. And for this, you're going to be giving what? You're going to be giving a risk report where you will be mentioning what are the type of risk, about that risk, and a mitigation strategy. Do not worry, we are going to be learning this in our part A. And once our part A is done, you'll be 100% sure, trust me guys, you'll be able to frame this type of report, right? In each and every attempt, approximately 5 to 10 marks are asked on this type of question. So it's very, very important for you to understand this type of, right? So whenever if you feel like I need a break, you can mention in the chat box as well. So I'll be giving you the breaks around it. Right? Coming to the next part. I hope you all are enjoying it. Those are connected on a live. Next. Risk management is a process. Risk management is a process which involves some cost. Right? Risk management is a process which involves some cost. And the cost should result in some output which will mitigate the risk. Simple example. Sir, if I am going to be taking an insurance, now for this insurance, you need to pay some cost, right? You need to pay some cost. Sir, just a small question. Say, for example, I want to take an insurance for my bike. My bike costs 50,000 rupees. How much insurance amount do you pay? Do you pay 50,000 for an insurance company? No. You pay around 1,000, 2,000 or 3,000 bucks, right? Depending on the value of your bike and depending on the conditions and all the stuff, right? Sir, do you pay the equal amount? No. You pay the lesser amount. To gain what? To gain some more output. Right? To gain somewhat more output. I'll give you some example regarding a term insurance also so that you understand in a much better manner. So once you qualify, Institute of Chartered Accountant Tensi offers this term insurance for a qualified members. What does they do is they give you an insurance for 10 lakh rupees. If you are age 21 to 30, you need to pay a premium of 520 rupees plus GST amount, right? So, sir, I'm getting an insurance. I'm getting an insurance of 10 lakhs by paying only rupees 520. Sir, what if the company start asking me to give a 10 lakh rupees and give a insurance of a 10 lakh? Are you gonna be paying it, or are you gonna be taking this insurance? No. Right? Whenever you take an insurance, remember the things, right? Whenever you're paying for anything, you expect more and you pay less. Then only you will be trying to take those things, right? Right? If you're taking my classes, you're expecting a more by paying a less, right? You're expecting a more by paying a less. Just a small example, but yes, whenever you see the insurance, this things is very very important. Now, why insurance company is gonna be charging it on so less amount and giving up a surety of a 10 lakhs or giving a surety of a higher amount? Because the insurance company works on a rule of a law of large numbers. Sir, what is the rule of a law of large numbers? The larger you sell, the better it is for a company. The larger you sell, the more you sell, the better it is for a company. Because if you see, the insurance company works on a rule of a law of large number and rule of probability, right? It works on a rule of a large number and rule of a probability, because they know the chances of occurring the event, because they know the chances of occurring the event are so less that I'm going to be cutting my risk. And how I'm going to be cutting my risk? By selling to the more people, right? The larger you sell, the better it is for your insurance company. Just try. I'll give you a small assignment or homework, I would say. Just log into a policybazaar.com if possible today. Just put your number. Trust me, guys, you're going to be getting approximately 20 to 30 calls. Trust me, guys, just do it. You will see that, okay, yaar, I don't want this insurance. Please do not call me. Again, they'll call you. Sir, please buy our insurance. What they're trying to do, because they know it. What they know. Unless and until they are going to be selling it, they'll not be mitigated, or they'll not be able to reduce the risk. Right? Because insurance company works on what rule? Law of large number. Just try it out today. Trust me, you will get around 20, 30 calls. Right? Unless and until you block it, they're going to be calling you again and again. Right? With a different names or different people calling every time. So just try it out. You'll enjoying it. Right? So yes, this works on a rule of a law of large number. And it is also said that you can't invest more to get output less. You can't invest more to get output less. And it is also that you cannot invest millions to save thousands, right? You cannot invest millions to save thousands, right? So it's again very, very important for being a risk manager to understand, if the output is more by investing less, you're going to be doing that. But if the output is less by investing more, you're not going to be doing it. Many of the case studies has been asked. I think in November 21 case studies asked on this. What they did is, very smartly what they made is, they made one question stating that, say for example, you need to pay around 2k rupees, but you're going to be getting a benefit of 1.8k. What you're going to be doing it, right? This type of case study they made it. Now you being a risk manager, you need to analyze it. They also put some probabilities or something around, right? Say they'll give you data A, B, C, and they'll give you some numbers around, right? Here they'll give you number, and here they'll give you some probability numbers. You need to multiply it and see what are the chances of occurring event. Do not worry, we're going to be solving it end to end, just giving you an idea that it's there on your mind, right? Next, coming to the next part. So you being a risk manager, you are managing the risk from a day one, right? You're managing a risk from a day one. Yes, cost benefit analysis, correctly mentioned by Kanan. So you being a risk manager, I'm telling you, you're managing from a risk one. Ask your mummy, right? Ask your mom. Mom is managing a risk from a day one, guys. Remember the day when you are going to the school. Remember the day when you're going to the school. What mom used to do? Mom used to put a raincoat on your back. And you used to like, please mommy, do not put the raincoat on my back. My back gets heavy. Right? You used to always say this, right? But what mummy is trying to ensure that you're not going to be getting wet. You're not going to be getting ill, right? And for that reason, she's trying to ensure that she's trying to putting a raincoat on your back. What she's doing is she's trying to what? Manage the risk. She's trying to manage the risk. And now you being a risk manager, you're dealing this risk management from a day one. But in this subject, you're going to be dealing with this risk management from a real life perspective, from a business perspective. Only you need a perception of doing the things, right? Only you need the perception of doing them, right? So it's very, very important for you to understand the business. First step of a risk management process is to identify the type of risk. And for identification of a type of risk, you need to understand the business, what business is doing. You need to understand what business is, right? Coming to our fourth point, it enhances the effectiveness and efficiency. It enhances the effectiveness and efficiency. What does effectiveness means? Effectiveness means the goals is achieved within the given time, and effectiveness means it is achieved within a minimal cost, right? Say for example, you being a government, right? If I make you a government of India, if you are part of a government of India, to whom you will be giving a tender, right? To whom you will be giving a tender for making a road. You will try to ensure that a person, those who complete on a time, those who complete the contract on a time and with a minimum cost, to that person you are going to be giving a contract, right? Other things kept apart, yes, right? So you are going to be giving a contract to whom? You're going to be giving a contract to the person, those who is effective and those who is efficient. But you being a risk manager, how you're going to be achieving that effectiveness and efficiency? You're going to be achieving that effectiveness and efficiency by looking out the operations, by seeing the things around, right? So you being a risk manager, you need to see how does this things, how I can perform the things in an effective manner and efficient manner. Next thing, it creates a safe and secure environment for our staff, visitors, and customers. Have you ever visited to, I think, malls or stuff? There you have must have seen the fire exit or fire exit or fire extinguishers, right? Right. So whenever or when whatever place you see in a public places, they try to ensure that the people feel secured. They try to ensure that staffs are secure. They try to ensure that the customers are secure. And for that thing, what they try to put is, they try to put a fire extinguisher. They try to put an emergency exit, right? Why? Because people do not want to feel themselves risky, right? If there is no fire extinguisher or something sort of, what would happen if the fire occurs, right? So for that thing, they're trying to do what? They're trying to what? Mitigate the risk. They're trying to ensure that people feel safe, people will secured, right? And there are other reasons for protecting the environment, reducing the theft, possibility of litigations, defining your insurance needs to save the unnecessary premium. And for all of this reason, we have a risk. For all those things, we have a risk management, right? So these are indirectly or directly are the benefits of a risk management, which you need to understand or which you should be aware of, right? Now, if the question comes in exams are for a benefits of risk, what should I write? I'll tell you how you're supposed to write, from where you're supposed to write. But remember the ground rule, how the institute is going to give you marks. First, institute is trying to ensure that you're using the module language. First, institute is trying to ensure that you're using what? Which language? A module language, whatever given is the module. Second thing, institute is trying to ensure that whatever you frame, showcase that you have read the case studies, you are clear of the concepts, right? So this thing we are going to be doing, we are going to be practicing a lot of questions. So it's again important for you, try to use a module language. If not possible, if you are unable to find it out, you are supposed to use the class notes. When we'll practice the question, I'll tell you how you're supposed to do it. So before we move ahead, I just want you to read it out. Just I'll give you 30-second odd time so that it's there on your mind. What is the importance of risk management? Just overview it. How it helps to achieve a business objective. Just read it fast so that you're able to understand the further stuff. Meanwhile, if anyone has a doubt, you can use a chat box to put your doubts. Great. Okay, someone is asking why risk hai to ishq hai means, sir. Yes, do not worry. After this 2-3 classes are done, you will be able to understand why risk hai to ishq hai, right? So you can see how the risk management is helping the companies out to achieve their goal, achieve their objectives. If the risk management was not in a place, then how the Maggie would have able to come back? If the risk management was not in place, the share price of a PVR would have been collapsed today, right? So this risk management is helping the company, right? It's just a name of a batch. Do not link it to anything. But yes, we have tried to keep the thing simple around. So let's move to our topic. What is risk, right? And during this initial 4 classes, we are going to be dealing with a basic understanding of risk management. We are going to be understanding how the risk is managed, what is risk management, and what all things you being a risk manager supposed to do or supposed to understand. Now, again, very, very important thing. This initial 4 classes is gonna be forming a base for the entire further coming classes, right? The initial 4 classes is gonna be helping you with chapter number 1, chapter number 2, chapter number 3, chapter number 4, chapter number 8, and chapter number 7, right? So I request the people, those who have joined on a live or on a virtual mode, please, please, please do not skip this classes. If you feel if I didn't get anything, do reach out to me, or you can rewind the lecture, or you can view it out, right? So those who have a viewing on a live, you'll given a backup of the all the lectures. You can view it whenever you feel like, right? If you're unable to join any of the live classes, I'll be giving you the backup so that you'll be able to understand it. Is running notes necessary? Running notes, as in the notes which I'm showing you, you'll be getting this books delivered on your location. This is a part of a class notes, right? As of now, for initial 3-4 classes, just try to ensure that you have a PDF or you read the things, whatever I tell you. As and when the classes are completed, you are expected to read the stuff, whatever I have taught you. Plus, also, I'm giving you homework, so do not worry, you will be automatically reading out the stuff, right? Those who have not got the books, I'll request you to print initial 30 to 35 pages so that you have the material with you. I've already uploaded this material on our portal, so you'll be able to find it, the class notes by the name of it, right? So let's understand what is risk, sir. Let's understand, sir, what is risk. Now you're told, sir, I feel like, yes, I'm going to be a risk manager. I can manage a risk, sir, right? Now, what is risk, sir? Risk is defined by ISO 31000 by the 5 words definition. Risk is defined by the ISO 31000 by the 5 words definition, effect of uncertainty on objectives. What is the 5 word definition given by ISO 31000? I want each and every one of you to speak wherever you are sitting it, right? It doesn't matter. Effect of uncertainty on objectives. What is ISO 31000 says is effect of uncertainty on objectives. Sir, what is ISO 31000? So ISO 31000 is a family of standards which is issued by the International Organization for Standardization. Sir, it gives a general guidelines. It is published in 2018 and it gives a general guidelines about risk management. So ISO 31000 is very, very important. We are going to be dealing it, how ISO 31000 works, what all things ISO 31000 has mentioned. But yes, you need to understand ISO 31000 says the 5 word definition of a risk management, effect of uncertainty on objectives. Now, sir, what is effect, what is uncertainty, and what is objectives? Off and on, I understand only. Other words, please do explain, right? Do not worry, I'm going to be covering each and every word for the next 30 hours discussion. So first thing, what is an effect of uncertainty on objectives? First, we'll understand what is uncertain. This question came in July 21. The students, those who have taken the classes from me, were so happy that they were able to score short mark. In the first lecture only, we are going to be covering 6 marks, right? So this question came in July 21 for approximately 2 questions were there. One was MCQ and one was case study or for a 6 odd marks, right? Now, but this definition is given by ISO 31000, but I frame my own definitions, and for that I have made this definition of, I have changed this definition to this. I say that risk is any uncertainty. Now you'll be able to understand. Risk is what? Risk is any uncertainty that if it occurs, would have an effect on achievement of one or more objectives, right? So simply, I will just explain you what this definition means. It wants to say that any uncertainty which is going to be affecting my business objectives. Simple. Any uncertainty which is going to be effective. What is going to be affecting the objectives for my business is a risk for me, right? Sir, but what is uncertainty? See, uncertainty is anything which is uncertain. Say for example, rain. So is it going to be raining today? I don't know. It's uncertain. Sir, if I'm going to be starting my business in Pakistan, will I be able to do it? Sir, uncertain. Sir, if a company from a UK coming to India, if a company from a UK is coming to India, will the government allow them to do a business? Uncertainty. Sir, if the company is starting its own business, or if the company is acquiring other company, will the company is in a profit or not? Uncertainty. Sir, I'm going to be starting my own operation. I'm going to be starting my own startup. Will I be successful or not? Uncertainty. right? But those uncertainties, listen it carefully, but those uncertainties which are gonna be affecting your business objective is a risk for you. But now for this, you need to understand, or you need to frame the objectives of a business. Sir, what is my end goal? Your end goal, see, being a student, your end goal is to pass the CE final exams. Your end goal now is to clear the November 21, May 22, or whatever attempt you're giving, right? Your end goal is to secure a rank. Your end goal might be to score exemption in risk management. That is your objective. Now, for meeting that objective, what you're trying to do is you have an uncertainty. Will I be able to score good marks in a risk management? You have uncertainty regarding will I be able to score good marks in a risk management? So what you decided? To achieve the objective, you need to mitigate those uncertainty. What you decided is, let's go to Shivam sir and let's join his classes. He teaches so nicely, right? So what you did is, you try to do what? You try to mitigate, right? So you being a risk manager, now you understand how this risk management is everywhere. See, you understand risk management, but important is now you need to see it from a business perspective, right? The day you start thinking from a business perspective, you'll nail this paper out. Now, it's again very, very important. See, you being a risk manager for any of the company or organization, what do? You need to understand first the objectives. And for understanding the objectives, what you're going to be doing is, you need to see what the business do. You need to understand what does the business do, right? So understanding the objectives, you understand the business. Now, what is the difference between a risk and uncertainty? Which is a wider term, sir? Which is a wider term? Can anyone tell me on a chat box, those who are on a live, which is a wider term? Is risk wider term or uncertainty wider term? Is risk wider term or uncertainty wider term? Uncertainty is a wider term, right? Why? The risk is those uncertainty which is going to be affecting the business objective. Say for example, sir, it's raining outside. Is it going to be affecting your business objective? If it's going to be affecting your business objective, it's a risk for you. But if it is not going to be affecting your business objective, how can that be a risk for you? Right? Sir, I deal in a service industry. It's raining outside. It doesn't matter to me. It's rain, doesn't rain. It doesn't matter to me. Right? So it's very, very important for you all guys to understand what is a risk for you and what is an uncertainty for you. And you'll be able to understand what is a risk for you only and only when you see the objectives. Is it affecting your objectives or not? Right? So this type of question came in your exam. You need to understand the concept. You need to understand what is uncertainty. Let's discuss this. Uncertainty is something that is out there in open and it exists from any or everyone, and right, it exists for any and everyone. However, that uncertainty become a risk when the uncertainty start affecting the objectives of any business, right? So it's again important. So before you sit for studies, 2-3 things I just want you to do. Number one, try to have a good highlighters with you, right? Different color highlighters. Just try to make a coding for the same. Less important, mark with a yellow. More important, mark with the orange. More important, mark with the blue. Try to make this color coding so that it's easier for you. Number two, try to have this type of sticky notes, right? That is going to be helping you out to put the content from where the things are going to be starting, right? Because that sticky note is going to be helping you out. From there, you're starting a chapter number 1, chapter number 2, right? So these things, please try to ensure that you have with you, right? So this is the part of uncertainty and risk. So let's draw one diagram for uncertainty and risk. So if I make a small diagram, the outer circle represent what? Outer circle represent uncertainty and the inner circle represent risk, right? The inner circle represent what? A risk. This is a risk and the uncertainty. Okay? The outer circle represent uncertainty. The inner circle represent a risk. Those who have joined on live, just a small request, please turn on the video so that I can see your expressions also. Are you understanding or not? So I hope you just draw it. Uncertainty and risk, how this is working. Next thing, whenever you read my class notes, you will be able to find some plus signs or plus references, plus 1.6 or any sort of references. What does this indicate? This indicates the page number of ICAI material. This indicates what? Page number of institute material. See, I always prepare you for the last day. Whatever you do during this 6 months, 5 months, or 2 months, or 3 months, it doesn't matter unless you perform in your exams. What is your end goal? To clear the exams, right? What is the end goal? To understand the subject well. What is the end goal? To score better marks, right? So whenever you are reading for a second time, this thing is going to be helping you out. Plus 1.6, right? Do not worry, we are going to be reading 1.6 in detail, but I always prepare my notes from a last day perspective, right? So I want you to understand few of the things. You'll be able to find this plus 1.6. It's a cross reference for an institute material, right? Where you'll be able to, anywhere you see the plus references, it's a cross reference for what? Institute material. Second, few places you'll be able to find this learning point. Learning point means this type of questions the institute can ask. So I just want you to understand this type of questions is asked. Simple example, how uncertainty is related to risk. Now you know it, right? Now, if the question comes in exam, you have a content to copy and write it, right? You have a content. Just important is you should know the things around. What is uncertainty? How it's related to the risk, right? Next thing, few places there will be blank spaces. I just want you to draw it side by side so that you will be also able to understand it. Also, on the last day, I'll also tell you which all things you are supposed to read, which all things you are supposed to cut it down, right? Which all you are only just read it. Which all things are very, very important. Please do listen those things out. And also, I'll give you some questions around. I'll tell you how you're going to be getting those questions. But yes. So this is regarding uncertainty and risk. And it is also said that managing uncertainty is equals to making decisions considering the possible effect on uncertainty. So if you are managing any of the uncertainty, you are making some decisions. You are making some decisions based on the effect of an uncertainty. Sir, what is effect? Do not worry, we are going to be covering in our first lecture itself today. But you need to understand the meaning of uncertainty and risk. And I hope this is clear. What is the first word which we are talking about? The uncertainty, right? Uncertainty is clear to each one of you guys, right? Now what we'll do is we'll take a few break for 5 odd minutes, or we'll have a chit chat around with each one of you, those who are on a live and those who are watching on a virtual. If you want to go to just, so I told you we divide the lectures into the parts. Part A, this is the part A. Second part is again going to be for a 1 odd hour, and third part is going to be a summary of entire thing, right? So those who are connected on a live, I'll have a chit chat around with each one of you so that I'll come to know. Those who are watching on a virtual mode, what you do is, if you want to continue, if you want to take a break for 5 minutes, then again start the part B.